We're visiting Hart Ace Hardware on Harding Road in Nashville, Tennessee today, and we're going to talk a little bit about something that's very important to gardeners. You're as good as your tools. What's the most important thing with keeping your tools up and running?
Well, you want to be sure you have sharp tools and clean tools. And if you, I'm not the greatest at cleaning my tools, so I brought some of mine in today to show you really what should be done. So kind of a do as I say, not as I do. But this is if you want to buy good tools and take care of them, they'll last you a very long time.
What is a good tool?
Well, there's different varieties of the mechanisms of tools. Like in a hedge trimmer and a lopping shear like I have right here, these are examples of compound lever action tools where you have two pivot points, and these are all made of very good quality steel, solid wood handles with nice grips, a nice cushion. There's a lot of just different features that provide different benefits on every kind of tool you look at. But what I like about the compound action, and we've sold these same types of tools for well over 30 years since they first started coming out. They have two pivot points, so you can get a lot more pressure with a lot less push. You can get a lot more cutting action with less push. So if you want to cut a larger piece, you won't have to really bear down and get it to cut it. But then again, the tool won't do anything if you don't have a nice sharp face there.
Well, before we move on, let's talk about a nice sharp face.
Mm-hmm.
How do we achieve that? If we've chewed up some stuff we shouldn't have been chewing up?
Well, and every tool is a little different in how you sharpen it. This is a pruning shear. It's an anvil pruning shear, so the blade actually cuts down into an anvil.
Versus the other kind?
Versus a bypass where it acts like a scissor and cuts. So an anvil type, you only have one blade, and it's this blade right here. So you would want to sharpen that blade, and typically I would put it in a vise and use a file to maintain the same bevel and just sharpen this blade like that. And it's even just a little bit I'm doing is polishing a little bit because I haven't sharpened these in a long time.
And so what else would we do to maintain these?
Using good lubricant products like a WD-40 that you can spray in any point that has a moving part, just a light spray in all those pivot points, and then also just on the blade.
Okay.
And that's something we'll talk about in a little bit about when you want to store tools.
Okay.
This is a great product for just putting on there.
Let's talk a little bit about your shovel and your pick there.
Okay. I brought this is a 5-pound Cutter-matic, and it has a wide cutting blade here and a narrow vertical cutting blade on this side. And one of the things that I think is important to note when you're sharpening tools, the sharpness that I want to put, the bevel I want on this is going to be really fine and really really slimmed down, tapered down, really fine. On a Cutter-matic like this, I don't need a razor sharp edge. I just need a little bit of an edge, because if you get it too fine out, you'll just roll it back as you start hitting, because you're digging in rocks and such with this, or roots. So with these, I use a big, like a 10-inch mill file, and you just sharpen down this way. I would clamp it in a vise, but you sharpen down at a pretty steep angle, because you just want to take the thick metal and at the very end just bring it down to a little more of a point.
Is there any specific grid to this that you're using?
No, this is just a 10-inch mill file, and that's a standard file that you would use in any sharpening situation. So on this side, I'd use a really sharp angle, whereas if I was doing that pruner, I'd be at an angle almost like this. Okay. So it's the angle of the bevel. You need a really heavy metal down to a sharp point. Okay. Same on the cutter side, and this is, or the matic side, this is a little, let me give you a shot of this. This side you just would keep flat. You don't sharpen both sides. On this one you would sharpen, as you can see, the original grind.
Almost like a bevel there.
It's just beveled on this one side, so you would sharpen back this way. Now on heavy tools like this, if you have access to a grinding wheel, that's a nice way to get it done quickly and then fine tune it with a file. Okay. Round bladed like this, and again, my shovel's pretty dirty.
This is for digging.
I just used it this weekend.
What you're saying, this is a digging shovel?
This is a digging shovel. And when you want to sharpen a shovel like this, you don't really do much sharpening, because you don't need it to be sharp, but you do want to clean that edge up. Again, I'd use that big file right here. I would take a big file and just clean that edge up. just so that it has less resistance when you're pushing it in the ground. But the big thing on this one is just cleaning all this up. This is this shovel needs to be cleaned, and then I would clean it with, I brought a couple of things that I would use. Either, first of all, just take a garden hose. Best thing when you're done using it, while it's still the dirt or concrete or whatever still wet, take it to the garden hose and rinse it off. If there's anything still on it, you can take anything you have. I just brought a piece of number 2 steel wool. You can steel wool it with the water, and that'll take the rest of the dirt off. You can take Scotch-Brite pads in the heavier grits, and those will take anything on. That'll take it off too, and just clean it right back. And then when you're ready to put it up, let's say you're going to use it next week, you can still spray it with some WD-40 because it'll give it a nice looking sheen and keep it nice and keep the metal from absorbing rust or collecting rust.
And that's basically what the WD-40 does? The oil in that keeps it?
It's a rust preventive.
Okay.
Now, I've read some things about how some people store, let's say this little hand trowel, they make a little bucket up with sand. With oil in it. They actually put oil in it. I didn't realize I bent the tip on mine. But you can just store your tools in that. You just take like an old 5-gallon or a 1-gallon paint bucket or a bucket you have around the house, fill it with sand, pour oil in it, or squirt a lot of WD-40. Just make an oily mix and just store them in it.
What's some of the other goodies you have over here for us?
Well, I brought navel jelly is the good old standby. You know, when you have rust and that's been used forever, you could paint that on that rusty surface and it'll take that rust right off. For wood handles, boiled linseed oil is what you would want to rub down this handle with to protect it, because wood dries out, and that's when wood goes bad, is when it's dried out. So if you can take it and just rub it down, put some on a cloth and rub it down. A caution to that though, don't ever leave a rag of boiled linseed oil wadded up and put anywhere. You need to open it up and lay it out to dry because it's a combustible item.
Okay.
So be very careful with linseed oil. 3-in-1 oil is just a good penetrating lubricant to use in any kind of a position, like on your tools. If you want a little heavier bodied lubricant, that's a great one. Of course, WD-40 is the old standby. But this is a product, it's not new, but it's one that's been around for a while that I use it a lot. I really like it. It's called, it's made by Permatex. It used to be called Extend. It's a spray that actually turns rust. It bonds it back to the metal, so I don't know how fast it'll work. But if you spray it on something like that rust and just let it sit for a while, when you come back, that rust will be black and it will be actually bonded back to that metal.
Thank you very much for instilling the importance of maintaining and keeping our tools clean, and so that they may be useful for us for years to come. Thanks, Frank.
My pleasure. Thank you for coming today.
For inspiring garden tours, growing tips, and garden projects, visit our website at volunteergardener.org or on YouTube at the Volunteer Gardener channel, and like us on Facebook.